What Nikki reveals stuns Phyllis. Elena faces Imani. On today's episode of The Young and the Restless, Tessa has some trouble with her first picture shoot, Adam makes a new friend, and Billy pulls a fast one on Chelsea. When Jack enters society, Phyllis greets him with, "Isn't it a gorgeous day in Genoa City?" He doubts her cheerful demeanor and wants to know if Talia Morgan followed up on her piece about Diane. Phyllis makes light of the situation by remarking that the original was undoubtedly cheering. Jack recollects that despite her denials, he later learned that she was frequently spotted in the journalist's company. "Do you insist on continuing your tale?" Phyllis shrugs and says that she was joking around with Diane, who was trying to curry favor with the reporter. When Jack comes to Diane's defense, Phyllis reminds him that everything in the paper is accurate. Nevertheless, she is once again the one who is being investigated for what Diane did. As Nikki enters, she chimes in that Diane is still a danger. While Lauren and Maria discuss how wonderful of a day it is for the photo session, Tessa stands awkwardly by in the park. Maria gives Tessa a confidence boost after hearing that she is anxious. Diane suddenly appears and announces that a few fashion bloggers would be there. Maria has asked her to watch out that they don't impede progress. Lauren and Summer are discussing the garments nearby. Maria gives the photographer across the way some direction, and the photographer snaps away tersely, saying that she'll record as much merriment and passion as the model provides. When Tessa's anxiety levels rise once more, she is reassured by Maria that she will do wonderfully. Even though Tessa says she's prepared, she freezes in fear. Lily gives Imani a bare embrace upon her return to Chancellor Winters. It turns out that Billy and Lily's situation with Naya hasn't changed, and that Amanda is handling everything instead. Apparently, Lily says Devin and Amanda have a meeting, and Nate will be there in his place. Nate, at Crimson Lights, assures an unconvinced Elena that he will take a risk that Devin won't be able to ignore or discount. As a result, he will be compelled to acknowledge that he has been successful thus far. It's a good concept, Elena agrees, but he needs to remember that it was his tendency to make decisions on his own that drove a wedge between him and Devin in the first place. Nate must not give in to Devin's objections. He is certain that the time will come when he will see the truth. Despite Elena's warnings, she decides to do it anyhow. Nate insists he's putting in work and that Devin isn't pulling his weight. Elena wants to know if he has discussed this with Lily. Nate doesn't want Devin to misunderstand their relationship and conclude that she's turned on him. Elena tells Nate straight up that he needs to reevaluate his strategy. Nate can't make sense of her attitude to his work woes. For Devin to take him seriously, he must prove himself. Sneering, Elena asks, "I wonder who gave you such advice?" Nate says, "I have to go," and he leaves. The shoot begins in the park, and Tessa appears to be experiencing some discomfort. There's a moment where she needs to take a seat. When Adam finally makes an appearance, Summer claims she can handle him on her own. She approaches him and explains that they have a photo session scheduled. Adam says he just wanted to check in and see what was happening. He takes a quick peek at Tessa, who seems sad. The sale of the Grand Phoenix to Chancellor Winters has been concluded, as Lily announces to the meeting's attendees. Imani doesn't think there are any issues. Nate chimes in to express his enthusiasm about how they ought to leverage the publicity of the sale to establish the vibe of the new location and establish its relevance to the music department. Both Billy and Lily approve. The topic shifts to Billy's decision to stop appearing on the podcast and Nate's desire to pair up Chelsea with a new co-host. Billy is under the impression that she is uninterested. Nate has sent Billy a list of podcasters because he thinks they should expand on Billy's work. Nate's initiative has been praised by Lily. Imani says softly to Nate, "There's something wrong with you." When she says, "I can almost hear the gears working in your head," Nate smiles knowing that she's right. Summer keeps attempting to get away from Adam at the park. When Kyle finally arrives, he notices the issue at hand, but he steps in and tells Adam that they don't need this many chefs in the kitchen, because Adam is merely observing. The summer breaks off and leaves Kyle alone. He asks Adam to move out of the way and wave politely if he wants to continue working, to which Kyle replies, "Adam, is this really how you want to kick things off?" Phyllis and Nikki insist to Jack at society that Talia Morgan took her actions under her own volition. Jack is incensed by their mockery of Diane. Nikki doesn't appreciate him coming to her defense. According to Jack, it's all about Kyle spending more time with his mom. When asked whether she should just forget about the woman's abuse, Nikki becomes enraged and asks if she should. How dare you frame me for her murder? Of course, as Jack points out, that's not what transpired. If Diane had her way, Nikki fumes, it would have. Jack yells at them to forget about him and rushes out of the room. While playing in the park, Kyle informs Adam that he doesn't have to put up with him. Adam thinks to himself that clearly, he has no idea how businesses function. Kyle tells Adam that he is a charity case and cautions him against doing anything to upset his father during the short time he will be visiting. Adam's sole purpose at Jabat is to assist Jack in managing the company. Kyle argues that things are never that easy for him and tells Adam that his opinion isn't wanted, he has nothing to contribute, and he doesn't belong, so Adam figures he'll have to show himself to everyone once again. The moment Adam leaves, Kyle intends to give his full attention to the shoot. Things are not looking good. What exactly is the issue? Lauren explains that the identity of the person in question is actually Tessa. Mariah begs her husband for a moment alone with his wife. When Mariah asks Tessa how she's feeling, she complains that everyone is staring at them. Mariah advises her to disregard the criticism and recalls the anxiousness she felt while filming the music video. Tessa needs only to put herself in the correct frame of mind, as she did back then. She tells her, "You are a literal rock star." Mariah tells her that if she lets herself get lost in the moment, extraordinary things will occur. They restart, and Tessa is terrific this time. The situation was saved, Summer tells Mariah. The conference ends at Chancellor Winter's. Imani tells Nate he was on fire in there as they walk down the hall. Nate is pleased with the outcome and tells her he plans to follow her advice. While Devin is away, I'm going to make a bold move that even he can't dispute with, he said. Billy has an important meeting with Lily concerning Chelsea at work, and he needs to talk to Lily. He describes all the problems she's been having as of late, such as how he abandoned the podcast and refused to communicate with her when she wanted more time with Johnny. He understands her position now that he gives it some thought. Since he believes his son will eventually be curious about his original mother, he sees no reason to prevent the two from spending time together. Even if it's a small step at a time, Lily believes it's important to begin addressing the issue now. Billy thinks she'll find happiness with it. Both of her eyes seem to have lost their luster. Chelsea calls her mom at Crimson Lights to let her know that she and Connor won't be able to make the trip home. After finishing the podcast, she has no plans for what to do next. She finally gives up on Anita's probing and sends her on her way. Elena approaches Imani inside of the cafe and inquires about her mother. Amanda hears from her sister that Nate was outstanding at a recent meeting. In a way she'd never seen before, he was genuinely enthusiastic about his work. And that's fantastic, in Elena's opinion. Imani wasn't sure how she'd feel if she found out she was the one who suggested Nate give up. Elena's facial expression shows that she is astonished he told Imani that. She is confused as to whether or not the lawyer purposely told her this to make her angry. Elena notices what she's doing and warns her to stop, saying, "It makes me question what else you're hoping for when it comes to Nate." Lauren, Summer, and Kyle sit on the patio at Crimson Lights and reflect on the productive picture shoot. Tessa, in their opinion, radiated beauty in the ensemble. As Lauren praises the designer who replaced her, Chelsea listens on in dismay. Suddenly, she receives a text from Billy asking if she and Connor would want to join him and Johnny at the GCAC rooftop pool. That's when she starts to glow. Adam runs into Diane at Jabat, where she informs him that the shoot improved greatly once he departed. She used to be one of the company's models herself, and she fondly remembers those days. A discussion on the article ensues. He has experienced the humiliation of having his own criminal history made public. Diane is happy to have a new friend at work. Adam comments, "That works both ways." Diane feels terrible about what happened earlier with Kyle. She has experienced being on the receiving end of criticism like that before. Adam left the family business to avoid criticism, but he may have just substituted one kind of criticism for another. Diane claims that Phyllis only joined Marchetti to lead a campaign of defamation against her. Phyllis and Nikki at Society are curious as to who censored Talia Morgan's series on Diane. They simply cannot comprehend that this critical stage of their plan has been thwarted. Nikki has prepared a new plan of attack for their predicament. Phyllis encourages her to keep moving forward. To visit Deacon Sharp, Nikki says she will travel to Los Angeles next week. Tessa, who changed into sweats after the session, is now in the park. They discuss the unexpected turn of events with Maria. As they share a passionate kiss, Maria jokes about her dreams involving Tessa. While Elena has tolerated Imani's flirtatious behavior and snide remarks at Crimson Lights, Imani's current actions threaten Nate's relationships with Devon and his family and career. Elena is upset because he is acting in a way that Devon warned him against. Imani is ecstatic to learn about his intentions to participate in the music festival. She says Elena is pushing him back into medicine even though she knows it won't bring him joy. In other words, she puts more faith in Nate's commercial acumen than Elena does. Nate is on the phone with someone from Chancellor Winters, announcing that the music festival will indeed take place. It would be expensive to cancel now that he has signed contracts with the musicians and leased the land for the event. At the pool, Billy tells Johnny, now portrayed by Paxton Mishkind, to stop and say hello to Chelsea before he walks off to play with Connor. An elementary schooler shouts, "Hi," and wades. Chelsea compliments him on his swimming skills and checks to see if he has applied enough sunscreen. Johnny gives Billy an odd look and comments that he has gained a lot of weight. He jumps into the water with Connor, and Billy hopes Chelsea is feeling better than they last spoke. She assures him it's a big help. Dayan explains that someone at Jobot is deliberately working to undermine her, whereas Adam has a chance to win over others. A lifelong opponent of Phyllis's is guaranteed. Phyllis chases Nikki out of society while yelling, "Deacon Sharp? My God." Nothing about the redhead's past with him is necessary for Nikki to know unless it can help her in some way. Phyllis says she knows it's not true. Nonetheless, she is confused as to why she is going to see him. According to Nikki, Talia has faith that if Deacon adds some juicy details, she may sway her editor. Possibly he knows so much about Diane that she can write an entire book on her dirty secrets. Phyllis doubts her ability to deal with the situation. Nikki is capable of handling the situation, and it's about time.